Once upon a time, in a bustling city, nestled between towering buildings and bustling streets, there was a school where children went to learn and grow. But inside its classrooms, there were stories that unfolded beyond textbooks and tests. One day, there was a boy named Sami who had a heart full of dreams. He was a bright student with a thirst for knowledge. Sami loved reading books about faraway lands, and he dreamed of one day traveling the world. Whenever he had free time, he would pull out a book and get lost in its pages. His imagination soared as he read about brave knights, magical creatures, and exciting adventures. He would read so intently that he would forget about everything else around him. Sami's love for reading wasn't just a hobby, it was an escape, a way for him to explore the world without having to leave his room. He also had a passion for art. Sami loved to draw. He would sketch anything that caught his eye, from the flowers in the garden to the birds that flew overhead. With a pencil and a pad of watercolor paper, he could create worlds of his own. His drawings were filled with color and life, each stroke reflecting his imagination and creativity. But unfortunately, while Sami was a bright and imaginative student, he was also very quiet and shy. He found it difficult to speak up and make friends. This made him feel lonely, and sometimes he wished he could be more like the other children. Then there was another student named Karim. Unlike Sami, Karim was loud and boisterous. He loved being the center of attention and often got into mischief. He had a big group of friends who followed him around and did what he did. One day, Karim and his group of friends noticed Sami sitting alone during recess, absorbed in a book. They walked over to him and started making fun of him for wearing glasses and being so quiet. "Hey, Four Eyes," Karim said, laughing. "What are you reading? A book about how to be invisible." The other children joined in the laughter, and Sami felt his face burning with shame. He tried to ignore them and go back to his book, but Karim wasn't finished with him yet. He snatched the book out of Sami's hands and started flipping through it, pretending to read. "Oh, wow, this is such a great book," he said sarcastically. "I can't believe anyone would actually read this." He threw the book on the ground and stomped on it, and Sami felt tears stinging his eyes. Every day, Karim and his friends would find new ways to make Sami's life miserable. They would call him names, take his books, and push him around. Sami felt helpless and scared. He didn't understand why they were treating him so badly. All he wanted was to be left alone, to read his books and draw his pictures. As the days went by, Sami started feeling more and more unhappy at school. He stopped going to recess and started staying inside the classroom during lunchtime. He would sit by the window, watching the other children play, wishing he could join them. But he was too afraid to go outside and face the taunts and jeers of Karim and his friends. Sami's grades began to slip because he couldn't concentrate on his work. He would get distracted thinking about how he was going to get through the day without being bullied. His teachers were concerned about him, but they didn't know what to do. One day, Mrs. Evans, one of Sami's teachers, noticed him sitting alone during recess. She walked over to him and asked him why he wasn't playing with the other children. Sami hesitated, but he knew he couldn't keep hiding forever. He told her about how Karim and his friends had been treating him and how scared he was. Mrs. Evans listened patiently, and when Sami was finished, she put her arm around his shoulder. "I'm sorry you're going through this, Sami," she said. "You don't deserve to be treated this way." She promised to talk to Karim and his parents and see if that would help. The next day, Mrs. Evans called Karim into her classroom. She explained to him that she had heard about what he and his friends were doing to Sami, and she told him that it was wrong. She said that Sami was a good student and didn't deserve to be treated the way he was. She also told him that his actions were hurting not only Sami, but also himself and his family. At first, Karim tried to deny it. He said that he wasn't doing anything wrong and that Sami was just being a cry-baby. But Mrs. Evans wasn't convinced. She told him that she knew he was better than how he had been acting, and that she wanted him to apologize to Sami. Karim looked down at his feet. He knew that what he had been doing was wrong, but it was hard for him to admit it. He had never apologized before and didn't know how. Mrs. Evans knelt down in front of him and said, "I know it's not easy to say sorry, but it's important to do the right thing. It will make you feel better in the end." Karim took a deep breath and nodded his head. He went to Sami and apologized for what he had done. He told him that he was sorry for making fun of him and taking his books, and he promised that it would never happen again. Sami was surprised. He didn't expect Karim to apologize, let alone be sorry. He had thought that Karim was enjoying making him feel bad. So when Karim said he was sorry, Sami felt a surge of forgiveness and acceptance. He knew that everyone makes mistakes, and that what mattered was that Karim was trying to make things right. Over the next few weeks, Karim and Sami became friends. They started hanging out together during recess and doing each other's homework. Sami introduced Karim to his love of reading and art, and Karim showed Sami how to play basketball and ride his bike. The other students saw how different Karim and Sami were, yet how they had become such good friends. They realized that being different wasn't bad, and that everyone deserved to be treated with kindness and respect. One day, Mrs. Evans gathered her class to read them a story about a young boy who was different from the other children. As she read about the boy's struggles and triumphs, the students were captivated. When she finished the story, she asked them what they had learned from it. "We learned that it's okay to be different," said one student, "and that we should treat others the way we want to be treated," added another. Mrs. Evans smiled. She knew that her students had learned an important lesson about empathy and acceptance. As the years passed, Sami grew up to be a kind and successful man. He traveled all over the world, just like he had dreamed when he was a boy. He became an artist, and his paintings were displayed in galleries around the world. Sami never forgot the lessons he had learned in Mrs. Evans' class. He knew that being different wasn't bad, and that everyone deserves to be treated with kindness and respect. And what about Karim? Well, he too grew up to be a successful man. He became a businessman, and his company became one of the most successful in the city. But he never forgot the importance of being kind to others. He often visited Sami, and they would reminisce about their childhood and the valuable lessons they had learned. So, what is the moral of this story? The story of Sami and Karim teaches us that even though bullying can leave a deep scar, understanding and kindness can heal old wounds. It reminds us that everyone deserves to be treated with respect and dignity, regardless of their differences. If you're a victim of bullying, remember that you're not alone. Reach out to your friends, family, or teachers for help. And if you see someone being bullied, don't just stand by. Be a friend and offer a helping hand.